Here we go. We're live.
Here we go.
I'm gonna sound like we're gonna break into that song where it goes, every now and then you get a...
Look in your eyes and look at that. Turn around.
Yeah, everybody sings the
every
movie
now
version
and
of it, where they say the
Yeah,
swear
look in
word.
your eye. Turn
What's
around.
up, guys? We're live on the platforms.
Bright eyes.
Little intro music. Acapella? Is that what that's called, Ian?
What's that?
Acapella? Is that what that's called?
It's called acapella.
All right, well, we had a little acapella intro. Well, it's going to let it
I
continue.
need
We
you
can
more
fade it
tonight.
down. As it fades down.
More than ever.
Hope you guys enjoyed that new intro music. We're testing a lot of things here. Scroll that down a little bit there.
Sorry. Once you get going, it's hard to stop.
It is hard to stop sometimes. It's like you're in the shower and everybody thinks you're a fantastic singer.
Well,
And I like to say, I like to think that I am, and you are as well.
Thank you.
So here we go. Pause the freeze, RealNoem, and Weird Science. This is Propaganda Report. I'm Brad Binkley, joined here by Ian Covell. Ian, thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you everybody who is tuning in. Been kind of chaotic in the news today. It was hard to, for me anyway, to wrap my head around what was even going on with the pause, the freeze the pause, chaos going on. I was watching MSNBC basically earlier, and in about a 5-minute span, I discovered that Trump had thrown the country into absolute chaos.
Oh my gosh. Are we okay?
I don't know. I mean, for a little while there.
You haven't caught up on MSNBC?
I thought the end was near.
Okay.
Funding had been taken away from all local law enforcement, and Medicaid had been shut off. Medicine ripped out of the hands from people.
Like as they were taking it, I was about to.
No, I mean it's taken out of their esophagus in some cases. They had Stephen. What's the guy's name who went to Duke? Who is Stephen Miller? He took it right out of their throats, and housing was taken away. Rent programs, effectively. And this is what somebody on MSNBC said, and it was a Democrat congressman, and he said it with an exasperated, like he was frantically trying to run from the apocalypse that was coming. Democracy ended today. Trump ended democracy, and he assured all the viewers that nothing that they did when it comes to the pause or the freeze was about government efficiency or cutting waste. It was only about an authoritarian takeover of democracy.
Yes.
Which I later found out was all BS.
Damn it, that's not what I voted for.
Right, you voted for that authoritarian.
I voted for the authoritarian stuff.
Well, apparently none of it, at least from my understanding. I'll be honest with you, I'm not in, I feel like I'm not fully in the know on this story. I'm still trying to kind of figure out what exactly the back and forth of it is, because the media was saying nothing that was true from what I could gather. Like I was looking at all these different outlets, and I usually look at the left-leaning media. I ended up going to Fox and learning a little bit more. Then I went directly to the actual Office of the Budget publication that they put out to right before the show. I said, I'll just go read the thing. But I'm reading MSNBC, CNN, all these Congress people posting stuff, and I'm going, I can't really tell what's going on, but I can just tell that none of them are telling the truth. That's the one thing I know. When AOC is posting in all caps, Trump ended Medicaid, just sensational, ridiculous stuff about how all these old people are going to die. I'm like, I know that's not true. And what I later found out was what they were referring to was a temporary freeze that was announced in an Office of the Budget and Management memo that was supposed to go into effect at 5 p.m. today, which didn't. We'll get to that in a second. But it was aimed at programs, projects, and activities that may be impacted by Trump's executive orders, some of which the programs include diversity, equity, and inclusion, Green New Deal stuff, funding non-governmental organizations that contradict national interests. Now, you could look at the language of this thing, and you could say maybe there's more to it, and I could see that argument, but they did clarify. They did have a couple spokespeople, Stephen Miller and the new press secretary, who we went from DEI press secretary to HOTTIE press secretary.
Yeah, exactly. Trump is back, baby.
And
blonde hottie's back.
I don't know if this was her first day, but I got a couple clips where I'll just let them explain what I've learned. Have you been following all of this stuff today?
Just a teeny bit. I was following. I went towards DeepSeek. That's where I veered.
Yes,
my thing with AI.
Definitely. Yeah.
I get this love. I get this weird love affair. Like AI to me is like visiting a strip club. Like I feel like you know what I mean. It's like
it's real sexy, but also retarded.
Sexy, retarded.
Yeah. Right. DeepSeek. What it will do is it will write you a bad limerick at half the cost. Apparently.
Yeah.
As our AI will.
But it gets its R's and its L's mixed up.
Right. All right. So here's Stephen Miller talking to Jake Tapper about Trump's freeze.
Yeah. So let's just walk through this because obviously there's confusion. Is this pause going to affect Medicaid?
No pause.
It does not affect any service that the government is required to provide.
This is why it's confusing. You see the bottom lower third here? Trump's freeze on federal aid. And Tapper says pause, but later in the day we got a judge who put a pause on the freeze.
Oh.
It's very, very confusing.
So let's just walk through this because obviously there's confusion. Yeah. Is this pause going to affect Medicaid?
It does not affect any service that the government is required to provide. It does not affect any entitlement. It does not affect any service to citizens. It does not affect any individual benefit, any public assistance program or anything of that nature.
Okay. So
I'm very glad for the chance to explain what's going on here. In fact, I could actually give you some backstory I think you'd find very useful, Jake. So we found after the president had issued a pause on funding to NGOs that resettle illegal immigrants, we found that bureaucrats at HHS were trying to funnel billions more dollars to those resettlement agencies and try to get around the executive order. It became clear that bureaucrats were still trying to funnel unapproved discretionary grants of funds to their pet projects. So OMB, led by Russ Vought, felt it was necessary to protect taxpayer resources to issue clearer guidance establishing for these discretionary grants of funding that are not directed by Congress, that they go through a political approval process at the agency.
So there's one, there's part of it, and then we have the
So I'm retarded.
new press secretary who also helped explain some of that, which Buckshot is on top
Yesterday, the White House Office of Management and Budget directed across the board free with some exceptions for individual assistance, we understand, to federal grants. It's caused a lot of confusion around the country among Head Start providers, among providers services to homeless veterans, Medicaid providers, states saying they're
killing
having
old
trouble accessing
women.
the portal. Could you help us clear up some of the confusion, give some certainty to folks, and also is that uncertainty, how does that uncertainty service the president's voters?
Well, I think there's only uncertainty in this room amongst the media. There's no uncertainty in this building. So let me provide the certainty and the clarity that all of you need. This is not a blanket pause on federal assistance and grant programs from the Trump administration. Individual assistance, that includes, I'm not naming everything that's included, but just to give you a few examples, Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, food stamps, welfare benefits, assistance that is going directly to individuals will not be impacted by this pause. And I want to make that very clear to any Americans who are watching at home who may be a little bit confused about some of the media reporting. This administration, if you are receiving individual assistance from the federal government, you will still continue to receive that. However, it is the responsibility of this president and this administration to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. That is something that President Trump campaigned on. That's why he has launched DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, who is working alongside OMB. And that's why OMB sent out this memo last night, because the president signed an executive order directing OMB to do just this. And the reason for this is to ensure that every penny that is going out the door is not conflicting with the executive orders and actions that this president has taken. So what does this pause mean? It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies. No more funding for Green New Deal social engineering policies. Again, people who are receiving individual assistance, you will continue to receive that. And President Trump is looking out for you by issuing this pause because he is being good steward of your taxpayer dollars.
Okay, so if I were asking a follow-up question, I would ask the specifics of what some of those programs were, but of course people don't really ask.
But they're just going to be more confused, aren't they? So wait a minute. Are you saying
Grandma's dead is what you're saying over there? Grandma's transgender.
Let me see if I get this right.
It used to be Grandpa.
Nobody's ever getting Social Security again.
Right. And so, on top of this, there was apparently a glitch or something with Medicaid, which fueled into all of they shut down the Medicaid. They're taking it all away, and it even led to, like I said, AOC and Chuck Schumer and all of these politicians posting Trump's taking away Medicaid, and then they actually created this new rapid response Twitter handle that rapidly responds to the lies they would say, like when AOC posted that, they'd share it, and then this rapid response Trump team Twitter account post what actually they're doing.
Oh, really? Oh, they have a rapid response to
it's like a fact. It's like they're not going to call it a fact checker because fact checkers, No,
I love that they're calling it rapid response. That's
right.
Hilarious,
and it is pretty rapid. That's true, and
smart. But that's Barron's idea.
It probably was Barron, a little arrogant Barron. He's so tall and giant. He can be arrogant.
Barron eventually, he's going to turn 30. His eyes will turn into fiery flames.
Perhaps
he's going to be the first Lord Emperor of America.
Nate says, "I'm most curious as to when they're going to deport those EGLSES fans. I don't know. Can't be soon enough, if you ask me, Nate. Yeah. Who you got? Who you want in the Super Bowl? It's hard to pick between both those teams. That I think I was really going for the Bills personally.
I want equity.
His social team is top notch. His social media team is so much better than the Biden administration. I don't know if you guys remember when the Biden administration attempted to do a TikTok account and make Biden a TikTok star for a little while. It was very awkward. Did you see any of those?
Oh, I did. I love how stupid they think. It was just so transparent how dumb they think we are.
I know. It is terrible. And Biden knows he's doing half of them.
I want to know who the president was for the last 2 years.
But this stuff was what they were responding to when they were saying the world's on fire, Trump's causing chaos. But I don't think it was the White House necessarily that caused all the chaos. They contributed to it, but the chaos was caused in the media reporting all of this in a very confusing way, and then asking, why is everybody confused? Because you confuse them. And then you have the Medicaid thing, which to me, it's quite a coincidence for that to happen. That seems like could be a little bit of intentional sabotage to add to the confusion.
Yeah, the media runs with these stories like a bunch of kids in bumper cars. That's about how smooth they are with this.
Right. And fortunately, though, they're going to be welcoming in independent media and podcasters and influencers. I think there's like one seat she was looking at, maybe 2 seats, where they'll bring independent media in. And fortunately for all of us, Jim Acosta is now in the independent media, so he maybe he can
drink coffee and listen to Jim.
Get back in there. I talked on the show earlier this morning that I can't wait for his new podcast, Jim Acosta, now that he quit. And he's actually already announced that he's going to be doing a new type of podcast titled Inside Anderson Cooper with Jim Acosta. So you guys look for that on your pod apps. But I am going to apply to see if I can get one of those. I'll drive up to I like to drive. I think you like to drive too. Ian.
I love driving. Yeah,
I'll drive up there, for a week, a month, if I can get in there. I doubt I'll be able to. But I'll give it a shot. So I'm going to try to get a media pass, Bad Christian. I have a couple angles I'm going to use to see if I can get one, but it's going to be a lot of competition.
Pretty good one.
I've forged press passes before for sure.
Yep.
And it's worked before, and it's also not worked before. At Kamala's event, where
I think it's dumb that you have to have a special pass.
I think you should just be able to walk right in.
Just walk right in with your.
I think you just
phone.
need a clipboard. Is all you really need.
Yeah.
So, on top of that, and you probably saw some of this, Trump blocked the condoms they were sending. Did you see the condom story?
He does not let people have condoms.
Yeah,
Are they dead yet?
No. Nobody with Medicaid's getting condoms anymore.
These people are going to starve without their condoms.
Yeah, and they get each other pregnant. These grandmothers are going to get pregnant.
All these pregnant grandmas.
He blocked these foreign aid projects as well from the Biden era. And according to the House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Brian Mast, here's kind of a list of some of the things that were that they blocked. That the Biden admin was spending tons of money on. $15 million was spent on giving condoms to the Taliban after they banned these type of products, which is weird. We don't do contraceptive, and they're like, oh yeah, how about F you? Here's $15 million worth of condoms.
$15 million worth of condoms.
You just do it, America. You send me these rubbers.
More condoms.
Taliban bareback. Get enough of these American condoms. Taliban put out.
And imagine that too. All these years, you're
just
going to the
airdrop-
grocery store. Your awkward exchange, having to be like, "Can you get the condoms behind the glass?" When you could have just joined the Taliban.
Which condoms are the ones that have been supporting terrorism? Huh?
That's a good question.
I hope I'm not buying
question.
These condoms.
I'm sure there's spermicide in there. That's probably put poison in the spermicide, try to kill their dick.
You killed all of our dicks with your condoms, and we no more contraceptives.
And then $50 million worth of condoms were going to Gaza. $50 million. There's only 2 million people in Gaza before the war. What's this $50 million worth? That's $2 million a person.
Did they pack those bombs filled with condoms as a way to distribute them?
Maybe.
Because that's not
I don't know.
That wasn't a good idea. They could have gotten the condoms another way.
Can you imagine that? You got one arm, your family's dead. Finally, aid, and it's like a box is a ton, weighs a ton, and it's full of nothing but condoms.
And you got one hand to put all these condoms on with.
All right. That's embarrassing. That's probably, I don't know what that is. I would like to know the reasoning behind this. There's got to be some sort of.
There is some guy out there with no hands that
Operation
can put a condom
Trojan
on with
drop.
his feet.
Right. It's like a protection thing. Maybe they had them, maybe they were like, just send them condoms and put, protective shield on the box. Go walking around.
Was it when the first bomb went off in Gaza? They were like, "Oh, those were supposed to be condoms."
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What
We
are we gonna
meant to
do?
shoot condoms over to you guys. I don't know what. It's weird. Like, they're probably not going to make too many babies during that period of time, but like a really kind of dark way to look at it is we better send them condoms because if they reproduce, then Israel might kill all their new babies.
Fucking
It's just,
one of Reginald's bits is that he was going over to the Middle East and setting up abortion clinics to help them.
right. So he could have brought them over personally.
They really do. Everything Reginald jokes about, they eventually
comes
do.
true.
And so,
Reginald honestly is kind of middle of the road at this point.
At this point,
he's like bold lib.
Yeah.
So here's some more efforts the Biden administration was spending money on that they've exposed and they're stopping. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. It's normal.
That's it?
Tax dollars. Yeah.
That's
I'd like
it?
to give a little more.
Let's get a little
personally.
more. Yeah, 47,000 is not going to go.
I feel like I
very
haven't
far.
contributed to that well enough. A Pervian trans comic book program received $32,000. Also not enough.
Yeah.
This was under Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. according to the federal document. The $32,000 that the State Department, it was an award for this comic book. It was meant to cover expenses to produce a tailor-made comic featuring an LGBTQ hero to address social and mental health issues.
Oh, sounds fun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds fun. Sounds like that improv theater here in Atlanta that took all that money to make sketches and videos and do shows about getting people
Dad's
to take
Garage.
the vaccine. Yeah, Dad's Garage. The losers.
It's like $80,000 in grant money. So this is the type of stuff, though. I was reading this and I'm like, man, we should have been making up crazy ass shit, like double amputee, trans, whatever, and you get the money.
Well, those days
not anymore.
Gone. Not anymore. Thank God we didn't compromise. Thank God I did not get. We were talking about that to get the numbers up for the show, that I was going to get a sex change.
Fortunately, Trump won for your. You
didn't have to. Trump won. I'm so glad we didn't have to do that.
What would your female name be?
Ann.
It would be what?
Ann.
Ann.
No,
okay.
I'm Ian, so my female name is just Ann.
That's my mom's middle name. We'd have to pick a different one, I think.
Okay, well, my parents said that if I was going to be a girl, they were going to name me Rebecca.
Okay, Rebecca, like Becky, old Becky Covell. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was the $47,000 for the Columbia trans thing.
What was the name of that? We got a title for it, the musical, because I'm hoping
the trans. No, for the opera. I don't know.
Well, when it comes to Atlanta, I hope I get some. I want to get some tickets. I'm
sure it's touring. Right? It's probably rave reviews. I'm sure from the critics anyway. Half of that money came from non-federal funding. And it was made to this trans opera, was made to raise awareness and increase the transgender representation through the opera.
Nobody knows anybody about. I mean, nobody ever talks about trans people. Nobody knows anything about them. We got to keep raising the awareness.
Is it through opera though? Is that? Yeah. I would think that there's already a lot of awareness there. I would think that.
I can't wait for one of my liberal friends to start making a big deal about Trump, like cutting trans people out of the military, just so I can go, why are you making such a big deal out of such a small amount of the population?
That's one of their arguments.
And that's exactly, I can't wait to say it. I'm just waiting.
And they'll short circuit and they'll act like they didn't hear it. And finally, it says in 2023, the State Department, through its Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund, also approved funds for ballroom dancing classes that aim to, quote, uplift the transgender and gender diverse youth leaders in Lima,
Brad,
Peru.
The word ballroom is problematic.
I lose sleep at night going, what about the ballroom dancers in Peru?
Yeah. Everyone needs some ballroom, right? Well, why is it ballroom? Have we thought about the?
Let's not gender anybody.
Yeah. Have we
thought like you might
about the colonial roots of this word?
I think you're taking this conversation really past the line of decency when we start to gender people and based on their biological birth. And
there shouldn't be a room just for balls, is what I'm saying.
Right, okay. And balls can be anything you want them to be. Balls can be a vagina.
Just call
it's 2025, and I have some weird science stories that's going to prove this. Actually, Nate says she ballroom.
Yeah. Buckshot
says, I forgot the only reason marriages and heterosexual procreation only happened after billions of dollars of propaganda permit. That's right. Right. People were never having sex in the Middle Ages.
Raise heterosexual awareness.
Yeah. Right. We need to inform people.
They never want to raise awareness of divorced middle-aged guys.
I mean, if things would have continued. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like they could have a government program to raise global awareness of divorced middle-aged men.
Say, we're here.
We're here. I want to be seen.
My genitals are whatever you want them to be.
Well, I want to be seen. Just see me.
Somebody look at them.
Somebody see me, please.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get back to some weird science in a second, but I want to show you this short clip from the beginning of Rachel Maddow's show yesterday. Her. I was joking the other day about
She's got a lot of ballroom.
She had a lot of ballroom around her neck. The over 1,500 pardons that were given, that just statistically there were going to be some that got arrested soon and ended up back in prison, and that is something that the media is just waiting to jump on.
I know.
Waiting to jump on.
Yes.
And here I present to you Rachel Maddow, because a pardoned Jan Sixer got shot and killed this week during an altercation after a stop with police.
Of course he did. Of course he did. He probably couldn't wait to start a fight with a cop as soon as he got out of jail.
Right. So the details of this story are there's not many of them. And that didn't stop Rachel Maddow from starting her show with this just to make it look like Trump pardoned awful people.
Oh, I saw this. I got to get rid of my cat. Hold on. Play it.
You gotta get rid of it?
Get rid of it. Yeah, that's it. No more cat. Hold on.
All right. Hold on. Let me put that up on screen. All right, there's Jen Psaki. So this is the pass-off they do in between shows?
The Rachel Maddow Show starts right now. Hey, Rachel.
Hey,
Jen,
6
in a row.
I know. I'm just getting started, just getting limber, just getting into it. The Thursday DNC chair forum sounds amazing. So it's going to stream the whole thing live?
The whole thing, the vice chair, then the chair. And we forget sometimes there's a whole other part.
I don't need to hear Rachel Maddow saying just getting limber ever again.
We're going to learn more about what they have to say, which is an important thing to watch, too.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thanks very much, my friend. Much appreciated. And thanks to you at home for joining us here tonight. Really happy to have you here. So this is Jasper County, Indiana. It's a mostly rural county in northwest Indiana. Closest big city is Chicago, but Chicago is like 80, 90 miles away. Yesterday, around 4 in the afternoon in Jasper County, Indiana, a sheriff's deputy pulled over a car in a traffic stop. And we don't know what the traffic stop was for. And we don't know yet exactly what happened during that traffic stop. But something happened during the traffic stop that made the sheriff's deputy decide that the man he pulled over is someone who he should arrest. Now, the man who was pulled over by the sheriff's deputy, according to police, he had a gun with him at the time he was pulled over. And again, according to police, when that sheriff's deputy decided that he was going to arrest that man, there was then an altercation of some kind. There was a fight of some kind.
Was this guy black?
And the sheriff's deputy ended up shooting that man and killing him. Now, the sheriff's deputy is on leave while the incident is under investigation. There's a lot that we don't know. For example, the police are saying the man who was shot was armed, that he had a gun with him when he was pulled over. We don't know if that's relevant to the altercation. We don't know if the sheriff's deputy knew.
There's no details other than
I know.
she's given most of the basic details here. So really, this is a story that
The way she's setting it up is she's such a scumbag.
you really wouldn't even report on this story other than that it just happened.
Right.
You
We
wouldn't
don't know.
have.
We're waiting to find out
Right.
more.
There was a gun. We don't know if the guy pulled the gun on the officer. We don't yet know the details of what happened. But we do know that the man who was pulled over is dead now. Police say he resisted arrest. The sheriff's deputy ended up shooting him as he was resisting arrest, per the police's description of the event. We also know that that man who got shot in that traffic arrest yesterday in Indiana, just last week, he was pardoned by Donald Trump for his crimes on January 6th.
So this guy who died
got one.
in an incident that we know nothing about it, even though I'm talking about it in a way. So she's implying blame on him, even though she admittedly knows no facts.
Celebrating this, man.
But
got one.
He was pardoned. Yeah, but you're exactly. This is what I'm talking about. This is why all the people who got pardoned need to keep it on lockdown, man, because this guy's dead. He can't defend himself. Not anymore. Who knows what the investigation will turn up? But it doesn't matter what the investigation turns up, because if the investigation turned up evidence that showed that the police were maybe over exuberant, maybe there was faults on their side, then she would not be able to do this. So it's important that she does this now, just in case the facts don't make the story turn the way she wants it to.
Yeah.
The man had apparently traveled to Washington for the January 6th event with his uncle. His uncle got 2.5 years in prison for assaulting law enforcement with a dangerous weapon. He was seen with an upside-down flagpole appearing to hit an officer.
So you see what she's doing here? She's conflating what his uncle did, because I'll tell you what he did in a second, which is nothing basically. But she's like shifting it over to the uncle, where they have an image of him doing something that they can make it seem violent, so that if you're just casually listening, it's like, oh, this guy who got shot was already doing something violent, probably again, and got shot. It's so twisted.
With it, his nephew, the man who was killed yesterday when that sheriff's deputy tried to arrest him at a traffic stop, the man's nephew ended up serving 6 months for what he did on January.
Look at this image they're showing, by the way. It's an image. I guess this is the nephew. It's supposed to be. It's a crowd, and then there's somebody in the back that you can't hardly see with a red circle on it, like it's Waldo.
Right. We have no idea if that's really him.
No idea. And
serving 6 months.
6 months
for what he did on January 6th. He got out of jail in July.
So just to tell you what he did. She said serve 6 months. Here, let me tell you what he did. He served 6 months for. Hold on, let me find it here.
It's not even the same hat that he was wearing in the other photo. Not even the same hat.
Okay, he served. Hold on, sorry. He went inside the Capitol for 10 minutes. Yep. So he went inside the Capitol for 10 minutes, is according to Reuters or the BBC, and got 6 months. So she doesn't mention that was his crime for going inside.
Did anyone go in the Capitol and not get caught? I wonder.
I don't know. I mean, they were walking so nicely in between those movie like golden red rope walkways. It was like a walking tour for half of them. But then she goes on to say Trump pardoned him.
He was then on supervised release until last week, when his conviction and all the terms of his release were wiped off the slate by an unconditional pardon from Donald Trump.
When his conviction of walking inside for 10 minutes was wiped off the slate.
Well,
so the whole idea is to make it seem as though he unleashed a dangerous criminal. He unleashed somebody who walked inside for 10 minutes. And as Nate says, how quickly they love police shootings.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at her. Look at her. She's an actress. This is an actress right here with this bullshit.
Terrible news.
So there's a lot to cover right now in the news. Honestly, it's impossible to cover it all at once.
She's just
kind of
torn
need a
up
strategy,
about it.
right? You have to notice everything, but you can only, there's only so much bandwidth. Today, for example, we got.
So that was the end of it. Actually, she just left it there.
Yep.
What a royal as you.
So there's only so much bandwidth, and this is what she chose to cover.
Right. She chose to try to make it look like a guy who just died.
Well, she also implies, the way she implies it, in my mind, she's sort of implying like, I mean, she did say he was on supervised release, but the whole time, that's such a tag at the end. I think she's making people believe that he just got out of jail and fucking got into a car.
Exactly.
And got into a gunfight with a cop.
It was last July when he got out, but his charges were just pardoned.
Yeah.
Right. And, right, Groby is a totally a nothing story, but they are ready for, I guarantee you they have people whose job it is, and they probably get paid decent, to just track the doings of these January 6ers and find and make sure they stay on top of it. And as I said the other day, maybe even honeypot them, maybe even coax them into, maybe give them a drink or something, maybe get them to do something.
Go move to a small Florida town and just chill. Just hide.
They'll go in, then they'll walk, they'll do the Chappelle thing. They'll have some cops bust in, shoot you, and throw some bags of cocaine or crystal meth or whatever the zombie drug is on top of you. The BBC, when it was talking about the story, it added to, after basically saying the same thing Maddow did, it said that this was not the first case of a Jan 6 rioter facing trouble, which I saw the story, but just like this one, they act like it happened right after this person this person just got out and then did something. That's not the case, but they make it seem that way.
These people
Not the first time they got in trouble with the law.
January 6th berserkers.
Yeah, exactly. Another of the group, Daniel Bell of Florida, was rearrested on federal gun charges last week.
Of course.
He got out of jail like over a year ago or something like that. And it says both Huddle and Bell, which Huddle is this guy, were among the hundreds of Jan 6 defendants who had their charges dismissed by Trump. Like, they would love it. She would get so earmuffs moist if one of them killed somebody or something.
Oh.
We'd never hear the end of it.
Wow.
They're despicable. They're shameless and they're despicable.
She makes a lot of money, man.
She makes a ton of money. She's their star, dude. And like we talked about the other day, I think she compartmentalizes it. I think she's a psycho. So the CIA, obviously, they published this thing the other day where it was talking about how I don't know if they published it, but I don't remember who published it, but the conversation was like the CIA hires people who have sociopaths on purpose, which obviously, I don't think you needed some sort of study to know that, but I think positions like this also seek that same type of personality. We could do this in a fictional movie or a show, like we both have.
Yeah, I'd get sick of that real fast because eventually you go, it's not worth giving up. You give up your whole life to play this character. It's just not worth it.
Right. To do it in a context where many people, where the idea is to make people who are watching think it's real.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, you got to be really good at compartmentalization there.
Yeah, it'd take a lot for me to give up my privacy.
I wonder how many millions of dollars we spent on condoms for her neck,
dude,
during the Biden administration.
Come on, a condom for her neck you have to go to a vet. You have to go to a vet and get one.
You got to get like a donkey condom.
You got to get a donkey condom.
So donkeys never do it without wearing spermicide, whatever, Trojan.
Safe animal sex.
Donkeys and horses are very, very safe with their sex.
Very responsible.
All right. One more, I think, more surprising story. Did you hear about the Molotov cocktails that this dude brought to the Capitol and he was planning on killing Pete Hegseth?
No.
Yeah, I saw this story a little bit.
Did he understand that that's not an actual drink?
Yeah, no, he tried to offer it to him at a bar. Yeah. He's like, hey, let me buy you a Molotov cocktail. And Pete Hegseth was like, no, it's on fire.
Yeah.
Can't drink this.
Can't drink it, yeah.
Now, this is the type of story that if it were the other way around, we'd never hear the end of it in the news. This is from The Hill earlier today. Capitol Police arrest man with Molotov cocktails attempting to target Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Hegseth, and Besant. I like to call it. Is it her? Besant? U.S. Capitol Police arrested this dude with Molotov cocktails and knives who was allegedly attempting to kill House Speaker Mike Johnson and President Trump's two recently confirmed nominees, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. His name is Ryan English. He came from Massachusetts to Washington, and then he turned himself into a Capitol Police officer, which I thought that was odd. He did that on Monday because I guess his plan fell apart, but he turned himself in near the south door of the building. Which building? Of the Capitol building, I guess. Yeah. It sounds like one of those weird. Do you remember those stories where they had like a woman who plowed her car into the gates of the Capitol and so people thought she was pregnant with Obama's child, or she claimed
they shot her. Didn't they kill her?
Oh yeah, they got rid of that in a second, dude.
I think they killed her.
Yeah, got rid of that definitely. Probably ate her also. Yeah, don't waste blood, right?
There was the guy down here that drove into the FBI lot. Remember, and the steel barrier came up. Did you hear about that?
In
here in
Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
When was this?
About a year, maybe a year ago, 6 months ago.
Was that me?
I think so. It might have been you.
I must have. I don't remember that. I don't remember doing that. I do vaguely remember something like that. I don't understand that strategy of plowing your car into the. It's. I guess you watch the movies where the car goes through the barriers.
I guess.
You got like a Toyota Corolla. You think you're gonna bust through the thing? Aaron Burnett and the high pitch. If we have time, I'll play that again at the end, Groby. That was a pretty funny clip. So here's the guy's plan, which I thought was interesting. They say they found a folding knife as well as 2 devices from inside pockets of his jacket. And the destructive devices were constructed of 50 millimeter bottles of Absolute brand vodka with a gray cloth affixed to its top. A green Bic brand lighter was also recovered. This is a very low, low cost explosive. Law enforcement.
I would use if you're just going to use something like that, just use Bacardi 151.
That's a lot more. And you're a bartender. So you know what's most explosive.
I mean, the 100 proof vodka will do it, but 151 would really do it.
Is that what you used to spit fire out of your mouth when you were attending
151? No, 151. Only college dorks really drink it. You really just use it as a floater to light the drink on fire.
Right. They searched his vehicle and they found some more liquor, a 750 milliliter bottle of Smirnoff 100 proof. That seems weak to me. Mm-hmm. And a gray sweatshirt with a cloth cut out. I mean, this guy really just looked around and he's like, I got some cheap liquor and some old T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. And I could tell him how to burn some T-shirts.
Yeah, and they said he had it affixed to a destructive device. And so they say he left Massachusetts on Sunday and initially looked to kill Hegseth and Johnson and/or burn. I think he confessed this down the Heritage Foundation. But when he stopped in Chevy Chase, Maryland, on the way to Washington, his plan changed because he found out that Besant's confirmation vote wasn't until Monday. So why does that change his plans? He had to wait till the guy got confirmed to do it?
I guess.
It just seems like if you have this plan that is a detail that really wouldn't throw you off. He was confirmed on Monday, and upon arrival to the Capitol and surveilling security, English suspected he could not reach the new Treasury Secretary, but then expressed acceptance and content with a possibility of suicide by cop. English was hit with counts of unlawful possession of a firearm and carrying a dangerous weapon. Where is the details about him accepting suicide by cop to turning himself in? I guess they found him out there. I mean, this is, you know what this is, dude? This is an indivisible activist who watches Rachel Maddow and gets those emails that I read on the show from time to time, who's so crazy and radicalized that they decide to be like, I got to do something. And they grab some vodka and a T-shirt and head to D.C.
Dude, I have been reading the craziest shit on Facebook from friends and acquaintances, let's call it. But holy shit, people are just lost their damn mind. They're all I mean, they just really think that the end is near.
If they think their grandma's getting their medication taken away, like today.
One of them compared deporting people to Auschwitz. To the liberate. They said this on the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz.
Of course,
we're deporting
which
people.
They celebrate every year, I'm sure.
Right, and I just wanted to point out that we just liberated America.
All right.
So what a great way to celebrate.
All right, get rid of that. Yeah, it's funny how they all suddenly are their new favorite holiday is
front page of the AJC today was all about how ICE went into a church and arrested a guy.
Or school. Mm-hmm. They showed one guy who was like, the headline was like, he voted for Trump and then his wife got deported. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why he voted for Trump. Maybe he was tired of her.
It's just I every day, I don't know why I keep getting it, but I subscribe to the AJC. I get the paper and I read it in the morning. It's so fucking bad. I laugh out loud reading it.
They're bought and paid for by the Google News Initiative.
It's so funny.
And their capture of the local news. I would heckle the political writer because he was always getting out of the van with Kamala, and he would never tell people where their events were. I had to like scavenger to find people who spilled the beans who were on the inside on Instagram. Like, and I wasn't right. Like that one we thought we had right because I narrowed it down to a couple. I picked the wrong one. We didn't get it right. But this guy was at every single one of them, and I would just heckle him. I go, great reporting, dipshit. Like I would yell at him I'm like a child, really. But it made me feel good because he wasn't doing his job.
That's what matters.
It really is what matters, isn't it?
That's what I've learned from progressives.
Right.
Your truth is what matters.
Strap on one of those government-funded condoms and do what feels good.
I had a couple drinks with a really super progressive friend on Sunday, and one of the arguments we got into is him telling me that there's no such thing as objective truth. There is only subjective truth. And then me pointing out to him that he just described an objective truth.
What did he say to that?
And he's like, whoa. And I said, so that's the only objective truth?
The only objective truth is that there's no objective truth, is what he said?
Yeah, the only objective truth is that everything is subjective.
What
a terrifying worldview. Imagine having that worldview. And honestly, he's going through a lot of anxiety issues and a lot of mental shit. And I was trying to.
What's his name and phone number?
I'm not going to dox this guy. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But I was kind of trying to gently point out that worldview is not too healthy, bro.
Did he get mad at you for doing that?
Yeah, he knows where I'm coming from.
He knows he's messed up. Do you have a therapist? Are you his therapist?
No.
So check out this story. The mental gymnastics leftists have to employ to make their ideology work is laughable. It is. It's impressive sometimes with the creativity.
Oh, sure.
Denver says, well said, Ian. Did you see this story about the New York Magazine? Oh, I think I ruined it if you saw the headline. The New York Magazine published this cover story about Trump voters, about young voters in the Trump movement called The Cruel Kids.
Oh, yes. I almost sent you this text today. I almost sent this to you. Yes.
So it's called the article, magazine cover, The Cruel Kids Table. Out late with a young right as they contemplate cultural domination. And so you see here in this image here, there's just nothing but a bunch of white people. And as the article says, it's just all mostly white people that look like Pete Hegseth, and they're around women that are they're out of their league, right? Very racist implications going here. And the article never at any point in time mentions that the party was hosted by a black guy or that this image that you see here was photoshopped to take all of the black people out of it. I can make that bigger.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
They cropped out all the black people to make it look like, because here's what they do. These people cannot just report what they discover. They're given an assignment.
No, they're narrative builders.
Your job is to go there and get details to fulfill this predetermined narrative for the story we're writing. And they just omit everything else.
It's the narratives.
Look at all these black people. And what's the racist thing? Is the racist thing the people that are trying to say are right wing that are hanging out at a party hosted by a black guy?
They're just nice people hanging out at a party. It doesn't look. I mean, honestly,
it's very racist to crop the black people out of the party and not mention the black host of the party. In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be there than.
Can you imagine doing that though? You're writing this article and you're like, I better crop all these black guys out so I can make the other side look racist.
I know.
The Cruel Kids Table.
Unbelievable. What's that first? I say almost everyone is white.
Yeah, it says almost everyone is white there.
Almost everyone.
Clearly not.
Almost everyone.
Yeah, I guess it could say if there's a 51%, but there seems to be pretty nice mix right there. Have you seen Nicole Kidman's orgasm scene as they have over here?
I'm so disappointed in movies. I'm honestly, dude, I just don't get these movies like this. I get uncomfortable watching a movie like that. I got to be honest with you, man.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't want to sit
interested.
in a theater. I want to watch my porn alone. I
Right,
don't want to go watch
right.
my porn in a theater with a
You got to
bunch
rent the
of
whole
other
theater
people.
out for yourself.
No,
It's
I
probably
just-
streaming
I
now.
just feel weird watching those movies. Like, yeah, I saw Brokeback Mountain in the theater.
Dozens
It was
of
awkward.
times. Yeah, you saw dozens of times. Yeah.
I dressed as a
No,
cowboy.
I remember like you could recite every line in that
yeah,
movie
I dressed up like a cowboy
for like years, every
for
Halloween.
years after that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's a great costume. Look, so as an actor, could you, if you were cast in that role,
I wouldn't
could you
do
do
it.
it?
I'm listen. I'm one of those actors.
$10 million, Ian.
dude. Well, come on, $10 million. Yeah, I'll
You just gotta, you gotta
screen. No, I'm just kidding.
dry up Jake Gyllenhaal for 9
Try out
months on
Jake
set.
Gyllenhaal. It'd be the last thing I ever did. You'd never see me again. I'd get a sex change into a woman, and I'd move to Belize.
Yeah. Really?
No, I there's so many characters to play and so many stories to tell. Someone else can take on the role. I just don't. I wouldn't do it.
Did they win Oscars for that? Surely. I can't imagine doing that and not winning an Oscar.
Well, I think that's why people do these movies.
Like, can you
These shows
imagine
like that.
you go full gay in this movie, and then the critics are like, oh,
Wasn't gay enough.
love
Or
the
someone-
gay
or someone
stuff,
came out
but
with
bad movie.
Yeah, what if they were? Because you know how these scripts they get leaked and stuff. So like people are going to be making things of a similar same. So what if they make like 3 or 4 gay movies that
Without
year?
gaying each other?
think you're going to be in the Academy Award winning gay movie, and then there's like one with Tom Cruise, and it's Tom Cruise and Christian Bale. They're in a gay movie together.
They're both retarded.
They're both, both retarded and gay.
Yeah, it's a love story.
Oh my gosh,
That
I would,
wins.
now see, I would watch that. I would watch that
Yeah,
sex.
they're both. Was it a Downs Queen Story Hour? They fall in love,
yeah, would you
dancing
would you,
for children at birthday parties. That's the
and
story.
they
That's
have a
definitely winning an
steamy-
Oscar.
And they have a steamy shower sex scene.
Right, like in the bookstore bathroom, they're just splashing water on themselves.
I like books too.
Right, that's wins
Yeah.
the Oscar. And if you happen to do your gay movie that same year, it's just all for naught.
I'm gay for you.
I could never do that. I could
Hello?
never be. I turned down a role that when I first started. In fact, AMT, it was from them, and it paid decent, but the role, it was some sort of weird short film that was like I don't know if it was like a comedy instructional thing where it was like how to give a BJ, and I was the guy and there was a female, but what it did was it led you right up to the moment, and then it would animate it. So it's people, regular people, live action, then animation that looks like you. And I was like, nah, I can't do it.
No, my diplomatic response email to those types of roles is, I prefer not to portray characters that express this point of view. Thanks.
Yeah, I was not right. I didn't want to have one of my first gigs I booked to be some weird anime porn.
I just wanted to play a detective. All I ever wanted to do is be I wanted to just play a private detective on a funny cop show.
Yeah.
Like a
Just have
Columbo
sex with
style,
his
like a
dude
Columbo
partner.
style show.
Yeah,
Who just
yeah.
has sex with his retarded partner.
Right, that's all you can find. That's
And
why you get into
solves
acting, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, I just that was my favorite thing to do is just play cops.
Yeah, cops are fun to play. So, all right, a couple more. Oh, the drones, by the way. There was they came out and she made a statement, the new press secretary, and she said that after research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers, they were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various reasons. And she said that the issue grew due to curiosity, as some of the drones belonged to hobbyists and private citizens, and that this was not the enemy. So I like that response. I believe that is a good partial answer, and I like it much better than what the message has been leading up to this,
That they were
which
coming
is
off an Iranian mothership.
China Yeah,
Their
and,
Chinese mothership.
Yeah, which was like World War III type stuff. So I like that this is definitely an incomplete answer, but I like that they didn't beat the war drums with China with the answer. The follow-up question, which I didn't hear, would be, why couldn't Biden's administration tell us this? If it's that simple, why couldn't they just tell us this? But again,
because they love having some. They want to be able to make fun of you for. I don't know. I hate those people. Hate's a strong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, don't hate people. Hate what they do. Yeah. Groby says, Brad, you missed your calling as deep undercover. That would be a fun job. I would say. It would be very fun. Dana says, I am undercover. This is a reverse psyop.
Yeah,
It's
Brad,
a triple reverse.
You should go deep undercover as a dude.
Psyop. Yeah. No, so whenever I get pulled over by the cops, they're like, can I see your license? I'm like, I'm undercover.
Dude, come on. I'm on the job. I'm on the job. Just
It's like, why were you texting and driving? Dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
I had a friend that used to drive a neon green.
A neon?
Neon green hatchback. Were you? Yeah, you were there that night. Remember, we all went out. It was for my 39th birthday. It was you, me, and Stan. We all went out to Cheetah's.
Oh, yeah, no, I do remember that.
And
That's when we toilet papered the.
Yeah,
we had there's a pretty famous actor who we compromised who helped us toilet paper somebody's house.
Yeah.
When we were all grown adults, and they still don't know to this day who did it because before he left, I printed a picture of what was the Indian actor's name? What was his name?
It's not Indian. He is Indian. Isn't
He was from all the. I don't know why I always forget this guy's name because it's like crucial.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
I printed a headshot of Lou Diamond Phillips for a red herring, and so after we did it all, this is before everybody had a ring cam. I put the Lou Diamond Phillips photo on the windshield, knowing that that's all they would think about. And we had some people on the inside. Yeah. And then the next day, because these compromised actors who we could expose him anytime we wanted, they were calling us saying, all they can talk about is what's the connection to Lou Diamond Phillips. I would love to do it again, honestly, years later now.
It was so fun. I mean, come on, I've forgotten how fun it is to toilet paper someone's house.
I love toilet paper in people's house. Now, though, it's like you got to do a whole operation. You got to disconnect the internet.
Did we steal the toilet paper or buy it? Because we used to steal it as a kid.
Did we steal it?
Yeah, well, I
think we bought it.
So this is what I would do as a kid is I would go in to like a gas station or a Subway, and I'd use their bathroom, and I would... There was this one Subway in particular. They kept all their toilet paper just stacked on a shelf above the toilet. And so I would dump out their trash bag, flip it inside out, and I'd just shovel toilet paper rolls into the trash bag, and I'd run as fast as I could through the Subway while they're screaming, hey, you can't do that. I'm like, too bad I already did. And then jump in my friend's car, and we'd take off.
Yeah, we didn't do I think we went to the grocery store. That would have been... That was
before cell phones.
I say I feel sorry for kids these days who don't get to have that experience because of ring cameras.
No one could record that. They'd have to get out their VHS cam and load it up the VHS tape and get back here while I record you steal.
Totally.
He's gone.
Nowadays, Rachel Maddow will shoot him and be like a January 6th defendant who was pardoned by Trump, tried to toilet paper my house until my private police force killed them. So, all right. So, RealNoem went on patrol with ICE.
Yeah.
Did you see that? This is quite
quite the. Everyone's getting a chance to do it. I want to do it.
It's quite the public relations stunt. Which
you got iced whenever they.
I guess I don't know. Someone. I mean, imagine doing that job and you have Kristi Noem there. Basically, it looks like the illegals are being arrested by a sex doll. Which I said that in response to the video, which she objectively looks like a sex doll. That's not a compliment. That is an observation. And some dude blocked me, which I don't care. But this is like a Trump supporter who I looked at the page because you can still see their page. But I was just perplexed. It's like, who gets offended? Here, I'll show you. Like, who is so offended by such a comment?
I'm going to block you. I'm going to block you right now. I can't believe you said that about...
How dare you say that?
How dare you?
I mean, can you imagine you're sitting around on the internet and you see this comment?
I just blocked the Japanese and Russian sex bots that
I rely on those for likes, dude. Those sex bots, like, there's the first one to like You say butt, you say anything that can be in any way twisted into an innuendo, you're getting liked by those bots. So here's, let's get a little bigger. I mean, just look at this. Look at this image here. That she looks like a real doll.
I mean, yeah, she does.
She looks attractive, but she looks like
she's
doesn't
not taking
look
that hat off until she gets home.
Absolutely, she looks AI and like a rubbery. And I said, it's 2025 and illegals are being arrested by a sex doll. And this person said, here's the response: earmuffs. So you're a jealous cunt. Got it, and then blocked me.
Oh, I know what it is. John, you don't.
Or girl. I don't know if it's a guy or
pretty,
girl.
You're not as pretty as her.
Well, what am I jealous? Yeah, I've always wanted to be a sex doll. That is true. I've also always wanted to be deported by a sex doll.
You are fatter than Christy Noem.
You shut your dirty mouth.
You are a little fatter.
No, shut up. I've been in the gym. I can't comprehend being so upset about that. They probably think I'm progressive, you know?
God, I could never date someone like a Christy Noem, because then like you're hanging out afterwards. She's like, "So did you see me on TV today?" And it's like, "Yeah."
She's like, "I killed a bunch of immigrants, just like that dog.
I shot that one and said, you got iced."
Yeah, I buried. I killed him.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. She looks like a stripper that comes in with a cover. Yeah, she really does.
I dated one actress I dated. She, oh God, I couldn't stand it. She would do all this Instagram stuff, and I would be there. I would be there while we were out, but I would just not be in any of the photos because I'd be like, no, I don't want to be on your Instagram page. It's just, she would act like it and do the whole thing. And, then I'd see the photos and I'm like, oh, I was on the other side of the booth. I was.
Right.
I couldn't stand it. It did not last long.
That's got to be challenging to date.
No more actresses.
Somebody who's I did that once for a little while as well. Then she got mad at me because she kept calling Trump a conspiracy theorist and a racist. I was like, God, I don't even vote for the presidential elections. Okay,
that's even worse, Brad.
And I was like, I think he's funny, but he's not a racist. One day I just got so tired of her calling. I'm like, he's so not racist, and that was it. And she's Ukrainian. And pandemic, full mask, flag. And it's crazy because the reason she liked me is because I was a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, well, this is very bizarre the way that turned out to me. I don't know. People are strange. All right. We'll get out of here. I know you probably got to head out shortly. Couple quick stories.
Sure,
did you see the rapper that she wasn't able to get in her Lyft car?
What? No.
As a rapper. She's 500 pounds.
Lift? Is that what you're saying?
A rapper?
Oh, lift. A lift, you mean like a lift?
No, ski.
Like
well, she probably wouldn't be able to get on that either.
Because I was hoping we were going to see a ski lift fail. But this
we
fine
would
if it's just
definitely see a
lift.
ski lift fail.
Okay, all right.
This is a real lift fail because the driver of the car didn't believe she could fit inside of it because she weighs over. Her name is. We'll go through it just very quickly.
A lot of
plus size rapper who calls herself BBW sues Lyft after driver said she couldn't fit in his car.
Yeah, well.
And let's see if we can get a photo over here.
If I was the judge, I would just take everyone outside and
let's see if she can fit in that car.
See if she can fit in that car.
Absolutely, just like just like the glove with OJ. Plus size rapper describes herself big beautiful woman. I don't know if that's what BBW usually means. Suing Lyft, blah blah blah. Dank Demos, who previously disclosed that she weighs 489 pounds. She's not bad, claims the rejection unfolded earlier this month in Detroit when Lyft driver rolled up in his Mercedes-Benz sedan. So you weigh that and you're not getting like an SUV. She's just inviting conflict here. And immediately locked his doors. That's funny.
Just cancel the ride. Just cancel the ride.
He immediately locked his doors.
I love it.
I can't fit in this car. The rapper. Oh, I can fit in this car. The rapper who also goes by Duja Blanding. How many names does she have?
Who fucking knows?
There she is. Look at
Oh
she's
my
beautiful.
goodness gracious.
What? Ian, that's insensitive.
Well, I mean, come on. I was not expecting. I mean, when you scroll,
I told you she was under 500 pounds.
Holy moly!
She's about to go to the gym.
This poor thing. Come on, stop doing that to yourself. Give me a break.
You talking about her?
Yes, I feel. Oh, gosh.
She could have anorexia. For all you know, bulimia. I've seen stories of girls just as big as her where she's like, I'm a big bulimic. That I've just relapsed.
She's wearing an extra pair of legs on top of her legs.
She's wearing double legs. You're absolutely right.
She's got double legs.
She's in Detroit. It's very cold. You need double legs to stay warm.
She looks like she got squeezed out of a machine. Like
she's in a sports bra, okay?
Like
Squeezed
she's
out of a
made
machine?
out of sauce.
What kind of sauce?
I don't know. I don't know. Holy shit.
What do you think about the choice in attire here with the short shorts and the
I
sports
wouldn't
bra?
even wear that, Brad.
That sports bra could sail a boat across the Pacific.
And what's with the completely empty purse?
Is it empty?
It looks kind of empty.
There's
what are you
probably
keeping
Twinkies in there.
You've got, yeah, you're right.
There's your shoes down there.
My goodness.
So let's watch.
Wait,
There she look. Here she
believe
is.
me, you can't.
Yeah, he says, "Believe me, you can't." There's actually a video. We'll watch that in a second. But here is her with her lawyers who happened to
look at these scumbags.
happened to get her in this outfit here.
Look at
So these are the guys who
fucking
carried her
scumbags.
into the.
These dudes.
Look at him putting his arm around her.
These
Is that her
dudes sit at the
lawyer?
Cruel Kids table.
Probably, yeah.
Two
yeah.
dudes that sit at the Cruel Kids table.
So why does her lawyer have his arm around her?
Because that's
That's
big-ass
weird.
payday.
That's really weird. That guy is as far away. He's probably pinned to the back of that wall. This MS said, I can't get in his car. Okay, here's the video.
Jeez.
Hold on. I have to, this is somebody looking for a lawsuit, I think. I wonder if she's a popular rapper.
I love that his responses. Now she is. They probably set this whole thing up.
I'm sure. This fucking white law firm as Trump supporters.
Denied me service, BC of my size.
What you saying?
What?
I got no space in my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
But believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What am I doing with my money?
I'm going to cancel you. You're not going to be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
You can't even breathe.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Play whatever videos, just a little bit.
What makes you think I can't fit in this
What
car?
really?
My best friend
What makes you think? And so she says she's fitting smaller
has a
cars.
Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same time.
She's the size.
She's like, I drive
size
them.
of a car.
What are those tiny cars from back like in the 90s? Marati or something like that.
She weighs, I mean,
She weighs more than the car.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car? So I gotta order another lift.
And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
So, I love this guy. He's like, well, my
You're very
tires are
tired.
running out of air.
I got very tired tires, and you're just, he's just digging a hole, man. He's just getting worse. He should have left
What I
already.
got to do with your tires?
Just leave.
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know?
Matthew, Twitter probably is the best place, but YouTube and Rumble will stream it also without it interrupting in Rockfin as
I
well.
don't have no space.
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
And you don't have no what? Can you imagine this guy's just...
Because I tried to,
This is set up. Why she? Because she had it filming when he pulled up.
because I've been in this situation.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
So he's a serial shamer, is what he is.
Okay, no, she probably is a serial lover. Okay.
You think so? Yeah, definitely. Frosted Flakes. And
The Uber XL is
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
Uber. They have an Uber XL.
What's your name?
An Uber double XL.
Oh my god, dude. Okay,
Uber
that's-
BBW.
Look, I have to say that I I'm looking at that car, and here's my thoughts on this: is this guy really should offer the solution here of these? Because I moved a lot of stuff when I moved not long ago. These husky straps here, these ratchet tie downs,
they're good. They're good stuff.
You can strap 1,000 pounds to the roof of your car securely, and it won't budge for the entire trip. That's at least 1.5 of her.
Yep.
And so I'm going to side with her. That's the case I would present if that were me. So Dank DeMose, I'm sure she'll turn this into some sort of rap song about not being able to fit in that car. And all right, Ian, you got to run. You got 2 minutes for Madonna stand-up comedy.
Oh, right. You said Madonna's
stand-up comedy? Yeah. Did you know Madonna's a stand-up comedian?
Everything. I've lived too long and seen an entire world I used to live in just disappear and turn into something else.
You sound like Marcus Aurelius or something like that.
At 52, I've seen as much as a 90-year-old from 1920 would have seen.
Have you seen 66? Right. We really have seen more because of the internet.
Yeah.
Maybe not in person. But Madonna and the weird science stories, I'm going to save them for next week. And it's about giving birth with one person or two men only, which there's breakthroughs. So that's a tease. Final story for tonight is Madonna.
Polycule is a new word I learned.
Polycule. What does that mean?
Polycule is when you're polyamorous. You have a polycule, and these are all your partners. It's real weird.
Oh, yeah, that's not. Yeah, it sounds like some Wayne Brady stuff right there. But Madonna. So without looking at this, I can even put that on screen. Let me just show you. Who do you think took her, if you had to pick one comedian who she went to this club with?
Oh, geez. I can't think of her name right now. What's the chick that, the D-list chick?
A D-list.
Yeah.
She has an uncle in politics. Amy Schumer.
Oh, gosh.
Amy Schumer took her to the Comedy Cellar
Of course.
in New York, and here she is on stage here. There she is. Of course, there's no video. There she is looking at her notes. Doesn't have her set memorized. Of course, she's that's not her main job. Her main job is she's a singer. She's like a virgin. There's her with Amy Schumer, Chuck Schumer. So you can imagine.
She doesn't even look like Madonna anymore.
Not anymore. She has weird plastic surgery.
She doesn't even look like oh, this is Madonna but older. It looks like a totally different.
She looks
person.
like a totally different person. She looks like an older sex doll. And I guess she's kissing Amy Schumer, who looks Amy Schumer looks like where the fucking, cheese sticks is what Amy Schumer looks like to me. And I don't know what that sign there says. This table is reserved for, I guess, that's her boyfriend there, who's 28. So good for her.
That's Madonna's boyfriend?
Yeah, he's 28.
What a stupid fucking jacket. I don't get these jackets.
It's
you look like a Ninja
big,
Turtle.
puffy jacket. He is a Ninja Turtle.
He looks
She's
like
dating
a Ninja Turtle jacket.
He's dating a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of commentary about what her set was, even though there's no video. And this is what a source said, that the stunned audience took. Hold on, make sure I'm getting it right. Yeah, the stunned audience took time to warm up to Madonna on stage, seeing her perform in the club. And there's about 150 people there, and they said that she was brought to the club by Amy, and she did full 30-minute set. Madonna did 30 minutes.
Jeez.
A 30-minute set Madonna did. And this person said she did well, but the audience was so stunned it was Madonna that it took them the entire set to warm up to her. I can assure you that is not doing well in stand-up comedy. If by the end of your 30-minute set,
plus you can't. Look, when you're Madonna, how do I put this? You just can't get away with it. Like, it's so rare. You'd have to be so good at stand-up.
You have to be very self-aware.
Yeah, I mean,
you'd have to recognize what everybody in the audience is thinking, and you'd have to address that immediately so that they stop thinking about it.
I think stand-up requires you to be a relatable just person. You got to be relatable, man.
And she could start a set like that. Like, that's how she could bridge that gap.
I think that's why. Yeah, but I think that's why a guy like Chappelle lives on a farm in Ohio, and doesn't, didn't live.
He doesn't date a 27-year-old.
Right, he's living a normal life. He's staying relatable. He's
growing potatoes.
I think that's what makes him work. What's that?
Growing potatoes.
Yeah, you can't.
No, you're right. Dave Chappelle is very insightful.
Yeah.
Madonna, apparently her set was about, she used the F word a lot, and she went after Trump about immigration. Is apparently the same thing Chuck Schumer did today, I think.
Oh, God.
I think she just did Chuck Schumer's set.
The price of eggs.
He
hasn't done anything about the price of eggs.
Yeah. And so the audience member said, that's funny, though, because you could tell the person they talked to was trying to be nice by saying, she did well. It took her whole set to warm. That's not a good set if you want them to warm up to you right away.
This is just a freak show thing.
She didn't do as well as you would think she would. I don't think she would do well.
At all. Like, no one was like, yeah, I've never thought of Madonna and funny at the same time.
Right. Yeah, she's like, my 27-year-old boyfriend is nothing like Dennis Rodman.
My goodness.
You should read Bad as I Want to Be. That's very old school book, but
that's her book.
No, it's Rodman's book.
Rodman's book, yeah.
And the chapter on Madonna is
we should
disgusting.
Start a book club. We should start a book club on the show and read books like that.
It's one of the most disgusting chapters in a book you're ever going to read. Rodman talking about his fling with Madonna, which I'm sure this guy is experiencing just 40 years or 30 years later for Madonna. She didn't do as well as you think. She got laughs every time she dropped the F-bomb. Okay. That's not what you're looking for. What's your punchline? The F-bomb. Just because hearing Madonna curse is funny. She also nailed a joke, the audience member said, or the person they talked to, about how with all these Trump deportations, she's not going to have any staff left.
Oh, hilarious. Let's joke about the fact that we're taking your slaves away.
So she's going after Trump over the deportations, and the joke she gets to laugh at is how her slaves are there.
They're so clueless.
They're
just not self-aware at all, man.
Right. They said that did get some laughs, but really everyone was just so shocked that she was there. It was probably very awkward for everybody else. So that's it. Madonna's stand-up. I wish there was video, but she probably told them not to record, if I had to guess. Thank you,
I wonder if we
Matthew.
can get some leaked.
Some leaked video? I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But, you'll probably be killed if you leak it. By Madonna's boyfriend.
I think I could take him.
What do you think? Do you think that guy thinks Madonna is sexy, or do you think he thinks what Madonna was in old videos?
I think he's gonna get deported.
You think he's gonna be deported?
Yeah, I think she probably brought him in. It's like all of her help. She said all of my help is gonna get deported.
Yeah, and she's not gonna have a boyfriend anymore.
And she won't have boyfriends.
Yeah. Matthew says great pod, can't be missing after. So it does cut off after an hour on Instagram. Sorry about that.
Oh, damn. No, I think. Sorry, what was the question?
We were talking about Madonna and her boyfriend being deported, and she's not going to have a boyfriend anymore. And
yeah, why? Why is he dating her? Well, I think there are some guys that I honestly couldn't do it. I don't know how people do it, but there are some guys that want a mommy.
They do, man. And she's rich.
And that guy wants a mommy.
Sugar mama.
Yeah.
I used to play these clips of these weird TLC shows where it's like I fell in love with my car, and it's just like a kid it's like licking the front of his car. It's like, I haven't told my dad yet. And then there's the other one where, and then he tells his dad, and his dad's like, ugh. It's probably like all staged and stuff, but it's still funny. Then there's this other one where it's these like 30-year-old guys who exclusively date 70 and 80-year-old women.
Yeah.
And they're together talking about their sex life, and it's like, maybe it's staged, but you kind of feel like they are. And this is what that start. She doesn't look old. She just looks. Like an older real doll.
Listen, what the fuck would I have to talk about with a 25-year-old? You know what I'm saying? That's what I keep thinking
TikTok.
about. That's what I don't get
your
about
favorite
it.
TikTok?
It's like, I don't know what the fuck I'd have. What the fuck could we even talk about?
Swift. Taylor Swifties are probably in the 30s now, I would say.
Yeah.
Are you Swiftie?
Me? Am I a Swiftie?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Big old Swiftie.
Thought so. Yeah, she's like 6'8". She's like Barron Trump.
I'm not afraid of tall women.
No, she's like 6'1".
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not afraid of tall women.
Really?
No fear.
It's the tallest you've ever dated.
I dated an NCAA volleyball player.
Really?
Yeah.
How tall? Wow.
A lot taller than me.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh yeah. All right.
Mama, pick me up.
Yeah. Interesting. Probably very athletic, I'm sure. All right, Ian, I know you got to run. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Denver, Matthew, everybody, Dana, Nate, appreciate you guys interacting with us. Groby, everybody, JC. We'll do it again on Thursday, and you guys have a fantastic rest of y'all's day. Propagandafight.com. See y'all later. All right, I think it's over now.
Finally, we're over.
We're